You are listening to Money Matters Podcast. Step into a world full of worth and financial intelligence. Dedicated to bringing awareness, empowering the world to financial freedom and personal development.
Welcome to Money Matters Podcast. Once again, I go by the name Clever Pinero. I'm in the studio with the professional investor, Alex. Today, we're going to be talking about money saving strategies, different ways that you could actually save money and try to achieve financial security for rainy days, for emergencies, down payments, for homes, for, school, higher education, retirement, and stuff like that. Saving money is very important. I'm sure you guys know. It's good. It's always good to have cash at hand in case you have any problems or anything that comes, any obstacles that comes. When a lot of stuff that happens that you're not expecting. Whenever you have cash at hand, it gives a sense of financial security, and it gives you. You always have that back. The backbone that you could always fall back on, and you can relax, and live your life normally. And, majority of financial experts, they recommend you to have 6 months of savings to take care of yourself in case you lose a job, in case of any kind of emergency that you're going to need money. So saving money is very important. And today, we're going to give you guys a lot of ways to save money and, have some form of financial security. Any comments, Alex?
Oh, yeah, of course. Hey, guys, nice to see you guys or talk to you guys again. We are back at it with strategies, good money saving strategies, which is very important because at the end of the day, if you work every day and you work to eat, that means you just have to work every day. But we are trying to prevent that from happening because sometimes you may intentionally not want to work because of some life unexpected incidents, but sometimes it may be something that you probably cannot control because of all that life had to throw at us sometimes. So it's always important to make sure that you have some savings in case of any unexpected incidents you can fall on. So it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. So. As we all know, it's very hard, extremely hard to save money. We all want to live life how we want it. We want to enjoy life and spend money whenever we feel like spending, buy whatever you want. We all have desires and bad money habits, and it's hard to change. Sometimes it's not easy. That's why there's a lot of people with empty bank accounts,
Yes.
But you don't want to find yourself doing math at the ATM machine or at the gas station. And you don't want to be, always doing math in your head because you don't have money or you don't have nothing saved up. You don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck. You want to make sure that at least you're in control of your finances. And having some money stashed on the side is always a sense of security that comes with it,
Yeah. And the most important thing here is that a lot of people know that they should be saving money because, like you said, that security that you get once you have a little money stashed to the side. You can actually move around and do what you have to do once you have that backbone. But most of the time, how do we effectively put that little to the side? How can we meet all our monthly and daily expenses and also have a little bit to the side for rainy days?
It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of discipline to trim down your expenses, to trim it down. Sometimes you got to leave way below your means and stuff like that. So, have like a good money spending efficiency. You can't just be spending money anyhow. Everything has to be calculated and stuff like that. So before you actually begin saving money, there's you gotta know, you gotta find out where your money, wherever the money that comes in from your job, from your business, whatever you do, where do that money go? You need to have an idea where all that money is going and track it before you be able to even think about saving money. You can't just be living your life just spending money anyhow, just being there doing all the math in your head, thinking maybe I have this, if I do this, I do that, impulse buying, instant gratification and stuff like that. You can't just be living like that. You got to find out where all your money is going. And the best way to figure out where all your money is going is to actually sit down and write down what you do with the money, all the expenses that comes with it. Whatever you buy, whatever you do with your money, utility bills, from your mortgage, like you buying books, movies, all the new gadgets, coffee, lunch, random purchases. Like you got to know where all that money is going. You just can't be there and just live your life anyhow you want without paying attention to all that stuff.
Like you spend as you go, as the money comes in. Once the money is there and I have enough to just buy this or that, just because I have the money to be able to acquire this, I'm going to just go ahead and buy it. No, I think that everything must be strategically planned. You have to sit down and say, I'm going to go out there today and this is the list of things that I need. And you make sure you go down that list. And these are the things that you actually do need to survive, to live. It's not some, like you said, like instant gratification where you just go, oh, I think I'll feel good in this. Oh, I think this will taste good. Oh, I think this,
Right.
You have to, before you leave your house to go to the mall or to the shop, you know exactly what you need. So once you're there, whatever that comes to you, because, these places, Costco, BJ's, I'm not knocking anybody, all them supermarkets, they have a thing where they have these baskets and these shopping carts, and they are there for a reason. Once you're comfortable pushing...
You wanna add Malcolm to that.
Exactly. Yes. Once you have these shopping carts, you're comfortable pushing these around. And as you're grabbing and tossing stuff in them, you don't even see how much things you are putting into these carts. So you come to the cashier and they rank everything. And now you get hit with reality. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize I was choosing or picking that many stuff.
I mean, you're paying with your credit card. So what you worried about?
Exactly.
You're not holding the cash at hand. You have the card. You're not thinking twice about it.
But the credit card is not free.
True.
It's not free. It's even more expensive than using cash. Because remember, you're going to be paying this with interest.
Right.
So the fact that you're not even going to be paying with cash, or most people don't even realize when they use their debit cards because they don't have the cash in hand to say, hey, I have $100.
It's always different with the cash at hand. With the cash at hand, you're thinking twice. You think about it. With no cash, you're only seeing digits. You just swipe the card. You come home and worry about it.
You know your expenses. When you get paid bi-weekly, monthly, or bi-weekly, you know exactly how much it's going to cost you for the time you've been paid till the next time you get paid. So everything should be calculated. Now, from now till the time I get paid again, I'm going to be spending $150. I'm going to be spending $200. You've pulled that from the ATM, from the bank. So you have that. As it's going down, you know that, hey, I'm going beyond what I plan to spend. So that will even help you also safeguard what you have.
So what you're going to need is to sit down and create a budget. You're going to create a budget, and the budget is supposed to provide a plan to guide you through this process. And once you start doing the budget for the house, for the whatever, your family and everything involved, the utility bills, the credit cards, the car loans, clothes, entertainment, mortgage, rents, whatever you're paying, like all that stuff got to come in there. But the only thing that's missing in here is the savings. Meaning you don't have, once you list all your bills that you got to pay, you don't have any savings or any kind of saving account, any money dedicated to saving listed in there.
No, why?
Usually people just pay all the bills and they leave the savings part.
Do you know why there are no savings on the list?
Because people just want to a lot of people, they don't want to owe money, so they don't want the companies calling them or whatever it is, and they will just pay everybody else by themselves.
Exactly. It's because I could live without savings today. There's nothing knocking on my door right now saying, hey, you owe savings, so you have to go put into it. So once they have the money, they're going to be...
There's no collection agency for savings.
No collection agency for savings. You're going to be spending on entertainment. You'll be surprised how much people spend on that. But that could be easily, you know what I'm saying, put to the side. So it's very important, and also make sure that this is part of my daily, monthly, weekly expenses. Savings should be put into a percentage.
It should be one of the bills.
It should be one of the bills. It should be put down as how much, depending on your long-term plan, how much should be put to the side for me to realize this goal.
So that will bring us to the number one rule of paying yourself first.
Exactly.
So once you decide how much you're gonna pay yourself, that's the amount that's gonna go into the savings, and you want to make sure that is the first bill that you pay. You pay yourself. You're the one that did all the work. You pay everybody else. You pay everybody else by yourself.
I have a question. How am I going to pay myself and I have all these bills and expenses that the amount of money that I have is not even going to be enough to offset all those bills?
Well, I feel like you got to prioritize yourself. You got to prioritize yourself, and, you got to think about your future. You got to make plans. If you don't pay your cable bill and they cancel it, you got to wait till you get that money. Before you could, you don't really need to be watching TV to survive. That TV is a want. We live in this technology world where you could get all the news you want on your cell phone. You could do almost everything on your cell phone, watch movies or whatever it is that you want to do. So there are certain bills that we could live without.
Exactly.
But you want to make sure that you save that money. You save that money and pay yourself. You did the work. You deserve. Why would you even think that you don't deserve to get paid?
Exactly.
You did all the work. You want to pay everybody else but you.
Hey, but I went to Macy's and bought me $500 worth of clothes. That's for me.
Nah, but you give him that money to whoever owns Macy's. That's the guy, the people that owns Macy's. That's who you're paying. You're paying those guys. You want to pay yourself. You are the star of your own show. You're the star in your universe. You want to make sure that you pay yourself first before anybody else. So that one is very important, to just pay yourself first.
Yeah, I think there is a saying in Spanish. I'm not sure how to say that exactly in Spanish, but the English goes like, should I eat steak because I can afford steak today? Or should I eat chicken, which is less expensive than steak, and put a little money to the side for tomorrow? What I'm saying is, you are here today, and today you are alive. You have roof over your head, clothes on your back, food on the table for today. What about tomorrow? You don't know exactly what is going to happen tomorrow. No one can predict what's even going to happen in the next couple of minutes. So it's always important to provide for those days that you can't predict what will happen to you.
Well, a lot of people be saying that in the Bible it says to not worry about tomorrow. So a lot of people be following that principle and just focus on right now,
But the same Bible also says that, hey, go to the ant and watch how it prepares for the rainy day. So you can't just pick and choose what works for you when, and just base your life on that ideology whilst it's working for you at that very moment. You have to look at the Bible in its whole entirety, not pick and choose parts and bits and pieces that works for you.
Right. Common sense wise, you got to always prepare for the unexpected.
Exactly.
You never know. So it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and don't have it.
Exactly.
So,
and this always skips us because we cannot anticipate or cannot exactly predict how much or how things will be tomorrow. So if I'm living today and I have a cable bill that I can even go forgo today, but I decide to have it for my instant gratification today, why should I not watch that cable and put the money to the side for tomorrow? These are some of the reasons why it skips most of the time. It skips us to put money to the side.
Yeah, it's real important to put money to the side. It's something that we all do, and even though I'm not a huge fan of just saving money, as in putting it in the bank and just letting it sit there for a short term, like short term investment wise. I mean, it's better to just save money for the short term to invest. You know, I don't support saving money for the long term unless you are investing it or you getting a huge percentage on it. You know, if the APY is great, then, you know, you could keep your money in the bank. So my strategy that I use to save money that has been working for me for years and years, and I still do it today, is something that I call out of sight, out of mind. You know, when the money's out of sight, if you just can't go to the bank right now to take the money from the ATM, or you can't just walk into the bank and take the money from the bank, from a bank teller, you know, if you can't do that, then you're not trying to, you know, wait a couple of days for the money. The money is not around you like that. So with my strategy, you know, there's a lot of banks out there. Like whenever you have the cash, you know, you decided that I'm going to save a certain percent of money. Let's say 10%. I recommend for a beginner to decide that you want to save 10% of whatever money that comes to you every month or every paycheck. That 10% is going to go to you. That's what you're going to pay yourself with. And with repetition, doing it on a regular basis, you're going to get used to the 90%. And that's what you're going to budget your whole life, your whole, like, you know, planning around. You're going to plan everything around the 90% and you get used to it. And you're going to forget about that 10%. Once in a while, it'll pop in your head and you go back and you look at it and you realize, wow, like I saved this amount of money. I'm shocked.
Yeah. But believe it or not, we cut our expenses based on how much money we have access to at the very moment. So if you have that 10% that's been taken away before your money even hits your bank account, you know that this one is not part of what you have. So definitely you will get accustomed to just basing your expenses on that 90% that you're able to put to your account. So
right. And you know, when you go to most banks or you talk to your banker, the regular savings account that you could use, there's also money market accounts, and there's also share certificate accounts that you could use. But all those are examples. But for me, most of those, the interest rate, like the percentage that you get back, is kind of not impressive to me.
definitely.
And also, if I'm using my bank, I could go there anytime and take the money out.
Yeah.
So what I recommend is to find a good online bank or a good online savings bank or online savings account where you could actually set it up in a way that the money will be taken from your account every time you get paid. You could do it if you get paid every week or every 2 weeks or every month, you could set it up and they will take 10% of that amount every time you get paid or every month. So, you know, I did my little research and some of the banks that I came up with, Customers Bank, they give you 2.5% every month of whatever you have in there. Goldman Sachs, they give you 1.90%. CIBC USA, they give you 2.05%. Barclays Bank, they give you 1.90% every month. Capital One gives you 1.90 every month. Access Bank give you 2.0 every month. And American Express, they give you 1.90 every month. These APYs are way bigger than how much your regular bank is giving you. I think your regular bank probably give you like I don't think you even earn $1 for the whole year.
It's definitely below 0.9. It's definitely less than 1%. It's way below 0.5 and stuff like that I know for a fact.
So you wanna pay attention to some of these online banks.
Yes.
You know, they have the interests are much higher. I remember back in the days, with ING, they used to have I think it was like 5% every month that you get back.
Okay.
And Capital One bought it. So for me, I was with ING before, and Capital One bought it. That's how I wind up with Capital One, and I haven't felt like changing it, even though I've seen other online banks with like a higher percentage and stuff like that, you know. But I already have Capital One set up, so I stuck with them. And that's what I've been using so far. So basically, what I do is I set up a percentage of my check that goes to Capital One 360. That's the name of the online bank.
Online bank.
Capital One 360 every time I get paid. And you know, I don't do 10%, even though 10% is what I'm recommending. That is the least to start. You know, if you feel like you could do more, you could push it. If you could do, some people might be able to do probably less than that. Some people could do like 40%, 30%, but 10% is like the smallest that I think everybody can be comfortable with. So you make sure that money is taken out and it's kept in Capital One Bank Online. And you make sure you don't have no ATM card. And the only time you need money in case of any extreme emergency and you need to take some of the money out, it will take you like 2 to 3 days before that money is put into your account, your regular bank account. Because there's a link between, let's say you say your regular bank is Bank of America and your online bank is Capital One. So the money is taken from Bank of America to Capital One every time you get paid. And whenever you need money from Capital One, the money will be transferred into Bank of America. It usually take like 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 business days before the money hit the account. So sometimes because of the 2 to 3 days, you might find other options, You might feel like it's going to take too long, so you don't want to take the money out. And that is when the discipline comes in. You let that money sit for the whole year. Beginning of the year, you did your budget, you follow through, you waited you do it, you stick with it for the whole year, and you see how much you could save. So I did a little breakdown. Like, let's say you get paid $120,000 a year. If you get paid $120,000 a year, that means every month you're making $10,000. The $10,000, 10% of that will be $1,000. So every month that you get your $10,000, $1,000 is gonna go straight to your online bank. It would be you're not gonna do it yourself. It will be done automatically. So now you have $9,000 to work with. So the $9,000 is where all your expenses is gonna come from, and because you put in money into your Capital One online account, it doesn't mean that you still don't save no money. You're gonna program your mind that the 90% that you have is the money you have to do everything. So you're gonna still try to put some money reserved in your bank, in your regular bank. You're not gonna just be like, all right, I have my little online account, so that's my savings. That money is savings that you are doing to invest. You're setting up that money so you could invest it to go generate more money for you. You're setting it up to go generate more money for you. It's not just gonna sit in the account so you use it to buy stuff that is gonna take money away from you. So you wanna have that kind of mindset. This is my savings for the short term. Once I take this money out, I'm investing it. I'm putting it into something that's gonna give me money. That's gonna consistently keep making me money. That is the whole point of the savings, So your regular savings account that you have in your bank, maybe you could take money from there every now and then. But this savings that we are talking about is something that you save to invest. You never touch this money. This money has to go and bring you more money. It has to go and work for you. So when you follow this plan that I'm talking about, you find somebody that makes $120,000, you find out that by the end of the year, you save $12,000. If you didn't have the plan and you just use your mind to just figure out what to do, all right, you get paid, I'm going to save this amount, let me just pay my bills and leave. You're not going to save that kind of money. You're not going to have $12,000 saved, So with this plan and with a little discipline, you will have $12,000 plus whatever you have left in your account. And if you keep doing this for some years, a year or 2 or 3, you find yourself having a lot of money saved. And, as you keep going, you're getting raises from your job. And also when if you're a business guy, whatever, you have years that you make more money, you could always increase the percent that you're saving. And you realize slowly and gradually you be saving so much money. Before you know, you have a lot of money saved up. You're ready for that new home. You're ready for that new car. You're ready for that new investment. You're ready for that new business that you always wanted to start. So you want to give yourself that chance. Everything has to be calculated. Everything has to be planned. If you don't plan and you're just there doing nothing and hoping something will happen, nothing is going to happen. So you got to take matters into your own hands. Your finances, you got to take those into your own hands and handle it. Come up with strategies. I'm not saying that just because you have this plan, everything is going to go smoothly. It's never like that. It's never like that. There's always going to be obstacles on the way. Whenever something comes up, you figure out, you re-strategize and try to figure out other ways that you could still stay disciplined and focus on the goal. So with that level of discipline and focus and determination, you find out that by the end of the year or by the end of the month, everything will go as planned. And, it's going to help you out to achieve your goal that you set up.
All right. My plan is a little extreme, but I think that's also needs to be considered. All right. There's a little background story as to why I chose and how I came up on that specific saving strategy. I think it was around probably 2006, 2007 when I used to work about 22 miles away from where I live. And if I had decided to go by the metro or the public transportation, take the bus, I will grab the bus to go catch the train that goes to that specific place. And once I get there, I either have to get a cab or probably walk for probably another 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast I feel and how tired I am that day. So one day on my way from work, the transmission on my car it blew. So I towed the car to a mechanic shop trying to figure out how much it was going to cost to repair that transmission. And talking to the mechanics, and the amount of money they were asking for to fix it was not worth the value of the car at that moment. So I decided to drop that car and go for another used car. So I asked around and I found one that was selling for $4,250, I believe. And I only had probably $2,000 in my account at the time. So I asked around. I asked some of my siblings, and nobody could really give me that extra $2,000 or whatever that I needed. And I consulted my mother. I didn't want to ask my mother because at the time I was probably making $15 an hour while she was making about $8 or something like that. And her expenses and everything were definitely more than what I was paying. So, even if I had made $15 or $14 an hour for this while and I could not save this amount of money, but then she was making $8, how was she going to be able to have that money to loan to me? So I decided not to even ask her. But after asking around for a while and not getting the extra $2,000, I decided to ask her anyways. And I asked her. And she was able to find me that money. So that was the aha moment. That's when I was really hit with reality. Like, hey, how is this possible? She had way more bills than I do. She had more expenses and responsibilities from back home, all the siblings and cousins and all this. They will call her before they call me. So I'm saying, how was she able to do all of this and still have that money saved? So at that moment, it hit me that it's not how much you make. It's how you plan and strategize and how much you're able to put to the side at the end of the day. So I said, wow, this has to be that turning point in my life. So at that moment, I decided to look into ways I can effectively save, like go crazy and save as much as possible. Because I felt that if I'm working, making all this money and still don't have enough to take care of my needs in times of needs like this, then it makes no sense. So I should be able to find a way to put money to the side that will always come to my aid when I'm in need. So I started researching and looking around as to how can I save. So I talked to my bank and I called my bank and asked them, hey, is there any way you guys can pull money out of my salary or pay every time I get paid before it hit my account? I don't want to see the total amount. I want that money taken out before I even get my hands on whatever is coming to me. He said, oh, we have this program called certificate savings. I said, what is that? Then she said, it's exactly what you had just described. Before you get paid, before the money hits your, as soon as the money hits your account, we will take whatever percentage, whatever amount you want us to take on the days that you get paid before the rest of them can be accessed by you. I said, oh, that's great. So I said, so tell me more about it. Then they said that it was, it goes for 12 months. You have to set it up for 12 months. And before the 12 months, you cannot access that money. even if you decide or try to go access, take money from that, pull, withdraw money from that, you'll be penalized. A percentage of it will be taken from you because you didn't go by the rules and the regulations of it.
Is that similar to a CD?
No, I don't think so. I think CDs are for long term, and this is for short term. So this is probably goes for.
But you could do a CD for a year.
Okay.
So what would be the difference?
The difference is probably, I'm not sure if CDs I don't have a lot of information about CDs, but I'm not sure if it can.
I think
you can
the difference
deposit.
The difference with the CD is a little different because CD you just bring the amount for them to keep
one
for the whole
time.
year, but this one
that's what I was
taking
going.
bits
That's
and
what I'm
pieces.
saying. Yeah, I'm not sure if they will be able to take that every time you get paid or weekly or
I
monthly.
don't think
or
CDs
whatnot.
work like that.
All right, so this one they were able to take it every week, every 2 weeks, whenever I got paid. So they're able to put all this money to the side. And before I started, and once they told me that, hey, you cannot access this money once you start, so you have to make sure you have to have a provision or you make some money available for your unexpected expenses once they hit. So I set a little bit money to the side in my regular savings that I can have my hands on whenever I needed to. So that way I will have some working room, some leave room to meet all my needs in case I'm hit with some unexpected incident that I need to add more money to it. So certificates are pretty much setting up with your bank. Many banks do this. Setting up with your bank X amount of money after writing down all your expenses and your income, making sure that this is how much I make and this is the total of all the expenses that I have every month, every day, whatever. So you set that amount up, and it's going to be a fixed amount for every time you get paid. You can't say today I want to put $200 and tomorrow I want to put $300. It has to be that one specific amount for every month.
So it's not a percent; it's the amount that you tell them.
It could be a percent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you work it out with them so they know exactly what percentage you want them to put to the side.
Because some people, if you know, you talking based on your experience, you're talking as an employee, as an employer.
This is not even coming from my employer. This is just with the bank.
Oh, okay. So people that have businesses, they might be, you know, today you might make $1,000. Tomorrow will be. That's why I'm asking about the percentage.
Right.
So I guess you could either choose the percentage or
or
give
the
a
amount.
figure,
Yes.
or give a figure.
Or the amount. Yeah. So whichever works for you, you go with it. So they tell you it's going to be that specific percentage or amount. You can't fluctuate like, hey, I want this or that.
Right.
This week and that week. So once that's set up, every time you get paid, it's going to be put to the side. And it's a bit extreme because you cannot have your hands on. Not in 2 weeks, not in 3 weeks or one night, unless it has matured after 12 months. So that's one thing that you need to consider very well before you go into it. You have to have a couple of $100 to the side. And
Right.
knowing that you're about to embark on this extreme way of savings, you have to trim down your expenses monthly. All the wants, the stuff that you can forgo, you have to take them out of the picture and go with exactly what your needs are, your monthly bills, the most important ones, your housing and your transportation, and also your food. So after these have been put together and you've come up with exactly an amount that you know that you're going to live or survive on, then whatever you think you can go by, if you can forgo, you let them know, and they will take that amount and place it in an account. And also has an APY of, I think right now, it depends on the season and the time, because I think it fluctuates. Right now, the savings, the API for that is 3.5 per year, which is broken down daily. So every day there's an X amount that's added to your amount.
So whatever amount that you will have saved by the end of the year, you're gonna get something around 3.5%.
Something around 3.5 on it.
So it's not just gonna. That's not bad at all.
It's just not just gonna sit there and not make anything.
So the API that he's talking about is the annual percentage yield.
Yes,
That's what he's talking about.
That's what you get. And the most important thing with that is to make sure that you set up a little money to the side, so you will not be hit with any whenever you are hit with some unexpected life incidents, you wouldn't have to dip into that because it's going to cost you more if you were to dip into it before its maturity. So that's my way of savings, which is a bit extreme, but trust me, once it matures and is deposited into your account, it feels like you've won a lotto or something like that. So
you're gonna get that savings. If you live in America, you're gonna get that savings plus your tax returns, I guess.
Exactly.
So that would be some good amount of money to work with.
And if this matures probably somewhere in July, based on when you set it up, it matures in July and your income tax also comes in January or March or whatever, it's going to feel like you've had 2 income tax returns. So that's a very good look.
That's a bit extreme, though. That's a real extreme tactics that, your strategy is very extreme. But I could see, it's a strategy to force yourself to save. Like, basically, you're forcing yourself. There's no way out. If the bank is telling you that they're gonna take a percentage from your, the penalty, they're gonna take a penalty from you. You don't want the bank taking no money from you, so you're gonna strictly follow it.
Because as much as we all know that we should be saving, it's very, very difficult once it comes to actually putting that money to the side. So if you have to go that extreme to be able to save that money, then I think it should worth it.
So, like you said, it's not really about how much money you have coming in. I mean, of course, you want to have a lot of money coming in, but it's about how much of the money that you're saving, and the money that you're saving, what you're doing with it. Whatever you're doing with it is going to determine how you're going to achieve financial security, or you're going to be financially free, So,
because some people think that these top of the line jobs, doctors, lawyers, and these people, they don't go broke, but most of them are actually poor. And some of them are probably making about $300,000 a year, $250,000 a year, $100,000 a year. So one will ask, why would you make such amount of money in 1 year and still go broke?
Well, you should know that doctor probably got so much expenses, from medical school loan and house and cars and so much bills that these people put themselves, expenses that they put themselves in, and it's hard to overcome. So it doesn't really matter how much money you're making. If you're not finding a strategy or a way to put some of the money to the side, you're going to be struggling at some point.
Exactly. We are humans, and
it's so easy to just, think about, all right, the next check is going to come in, the next check is going to come in, the next check is going to come in. And just relax, But time is not waiting for no one. Time is not waiting for you.
Exactly.
You just can't be there and not plan. Plan with the money that's coming in.
Yeah, we are humans, and it's natural for us to gauge our spendings based on how much we're making. So if you're making $100,000, $200,000 a year, the car that costs $70,000 will be nothing for you.
Right.
If I'm making $15,000, I go for $7,000, $6,000 worth of car. But you making all this amount of money, so that's how some doctors and lawyers and some of these top of the line professionals, that's how they come to be broke, because they are making a lot of money, but on the other hand, they are also spending more. They want to get every luxury piece of commodity that's out there. And that's where their money goes. So you could be making a lot of money and still be broke. So at the end of the day, I always say to people, it's never about how much you're making. It's about how much you're able to put to the side.
And what you do with it.
Why's that money sitting there? Because the thing is, though, you always save for a short term. And after that money comes in, you sit and decide and research and ask, what do you do with that money to have it also work? Because there are a lot of savings and a lot of companies that probably won't take $1,000, $2,000 for you to invest with them. You're probably going to need about $20,000. I mentioned that syndicate loans in real estate is pretty much giving your money to somebody who is a realtor who is also a real estate investor, for them to go buy houses, and like every month there's a percentage they give to you. These jobs or these occupations need a lot of capital, so you have to have a lot of money. So once you get that money, you save that money and you get it in bulk. Now you look for these people who give high yield interest or dividends.
And in some banks, you could even bargain your way. You could bargain the interest or the percentage that they're giving you.
Exactly. But then again, you have to build that rapport with them to let them
Right.
know that you're capable of, there are banks there are people who would probably sit in the comfort of their homes and give a call to banks and ask for loans. They will not even go there, but the bank will give it to them, all because of how they've worked and the history that they have with
Yeah,
these
they
people.
have a good portfolio with the bank.
So once you do develop and build these portfolios, they'll be able to grant you whatever you ask for because they know you are worthy of it.
So, these two strategies that we just talked about, they both work. Alex has been using it, and I've been using mine, and it's working. Alex is a little extreme, but at the end of the day, if you stay disciplined and you stay determined, you're gonna be able to achieve your goal. And the idea is to have the money saved by the end of the year. I recommend that you start from the beginning of the year, so by December your money is ready, than to just start from the middle of the year or any other month. You make the budget. You budget yourself the beginning of the year or the end of the year before, and then you go through the next year. And then once the year is over, you sit down and you do your budget again. And you figure out how much you could save, if you could add more to it, or if you got to reduce it, or whatever strategy that will work for you, or whatever decision.
Yeah. So whenever you get that urge, that aha moment, and you're pumped up and you want to do it, you just have to have a system in place that would let you know exactly how much you should go about, how much you should put to the side, how you should do this, how you should do that. So at the end of the day, you can be looking at how you're progressing or how you are falling back. So you have to have a system. You have to have a plan. You have to have a way that works for you. These are what is working for us, and we've been using it, and by God's grace, we've been attained some successes. But on the same token, you can blend both of these. You have to make it work for you, whichever your income and whichever your way is. You have to find a way to make it work for you.
So if you also have a better strategy that works, that you want people to know, you want to share, you could leave the information in the comments, and also you could email us about it. We're going to take a look at it and maybe bring you to the studio or give you a call and try to figure it out. Because the whole point is to give the information out, try to make sure we have the information available for anybody that needs it. So we be hoping that people are going to actually put these strategies to test and let us know how it worked out for them for a year or even 6 months, or, and see the difference. And if you are really, really, really serious about saving money, the best time was yesterday. To start. The best time to start was yesterday. Today is the second best time to start. So make sure that you put you make your decision. You decide real quick and take matters into your own hands and start saving money right away. And start recording your expenses. Start writing stuff down. The more you start writing things down, the more you take them serious. You don't write it down, you plan in your mind, you're going to forget. There's too many things going on, like too much distractions and stuff like that. You want to write everything down. Whatever plans you're making, write them down and try to make it happen.
And even as you write them down, sometimes you come to realize that there are certain expenses that you don't need. There are certain things that you spend your money on that you can even see right there and there that, hey, I don't need this. Why do I even have to keep paying for this?
Yeah, so there you have it. This is the Money Matters podcast. We want to make sure that you guys actually take notes. You don't just listen, you take notes and you practice some of the stuff that we're talking about. We always have good content, good information for you guys to listen to and learn from. And, as we do research and use our personal experiences, we also learn at the same time. So, anybody out there, you want to connect with us, you want to come to the studio, you're welcome. Or you have any kind of information you want to share, subscribe to the channel and get involved with us.
Yes. Once again, we've come to the end of today's edition. And yes, we cannot emphasize the importance of savings enough. We have to save. And as we've discussed and mentioned, it's very difficult to forgo that nice thing you've always wanted and put the money to the side for tomorrow's unexpected incidents. So yes, if you have any comments or anything, you can drop them down below and let us know. Like you said, you want to come, get in touch with us. There's an email that we're going to put at the end of the show. You can email us and let us know what you have to say.
And always remember, if you can't save, then you can invest. You want to make sure you are able to invest. That's how you create yourself. That's how you put yourself in a situation where you have multiple streams of incomes coming in.
Yep.
So saving money is very important to achieve financial freedom.
And you're saying that if you can't save, you can't invest. And if you can't invest, then it means you cannot stop working. You have to work every day.
You're going to be a slave for a long time.
Yep.
All right, guys.
That's all for today. Until we meet again next time, never stop learning. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to our channel. Email us at themoneymatterspodcast@gmail.com.
Your